Hey everybody, Caleb here at Prehired. Today we've got John Obono in New York with us. He's just been hired to a top sales team in New York, and he's personally one of the hardest workers that I know. So John, I'm going to hand it over to you. Tell everyone about you a little bit and your background.
Hey everyone. Uh, from a young age, I gravitated towards two things, and that is helping people and finding solutions to problems. So that has informed my decision and the kind of companies I've always liked to work in. And so in the kind of environments where I'm able to help people. So I started working with British Airways uh, in customer facing roles. And, I grew from starting out as a contact inside sales agents, taking phones and selling over the phone to managing the whole ground operations. And afterwards, I moved to an energy trading company where I did business development kind of roles. And of course, in that position, I also handled, a lot of other things because it was a small startup that was starting out in my country at the time. So when I'm not working, I'm a sport enthusiast. I like running, I like going to the gym, and I like volunteering.
Well, that's great, John. So, hey, why did you consider software sales and ultimately pre-hired?
Oh, that's a great question. So I've had this fascination for a long time with software, big data, Internet of Things, software as a service. So the fascination was so great that, even before I got into it, I'm always, researching, trying to find out what's all about, just thinking about all the creative solutions that are, being spun out every other day and helping organizations and individuals is just something that I can't sleep. I'm just constantly thinking about what's this thing about. So yeah, so that was my fascination with software.
That's awesome, man. So, hey, let me ask you this. Before you joined Prehired, did you have any doubts before joining? I remember thinking back when I joined, I kind of had some doubts. What did that look like for you?
Oh, certainly. When I found Prehired, first it was like it sounded the whole concept and idea seemed too good to be true. It was like, really? How is this possible? How is it possible that they're able to do this? And for me, my curiosity was just, piqued like, whoa, I really need to just get to the bottom of this and see if, for a fact this is true. So I did lots of research and I read lots of reviews about Prehired. And so a lot of the people who give testimonies of their experience in Prehired, I went as far as, going to look them up in LinkedIn, looking at their profiles and seeing that, for a fact that they actually had, periods where they worked in Prehired and how, that transition was. I looked at their backgrounds as well, where they're coming from, and I saw that, look, all of the stories, add up, So for me, it was at that point, I just knew that this was it. Then another thing for me was that when I was reading about the offer and all of that, I saw that Prehired was even mentioning, their rivals, people who were doing about the same thing with them. And so for me, it was like, why would anybody, if they're not genuine, even be talking about, their competitors and everything, and all the information is out there. And so for me, so those were just what sealed it for me, and I knew that this was it was genuine and it was real because I saw the people were true and they were genuine, and I saw that everything just came together, and I knew that this is true.
So you made the decision to join Prehired. Can you talk a little bit about what was it like going through the program, and then ultimately, what was it like getting hired, and where did you get hired to?
Oh, okay, great question. So for me, when I started out, I realized that I made some commitments, first about what time I was going to finish, and so I ensured that I stuck to these commitments that I made. So that reflected in the amount of time I gave, to the program, to studying and all of that. And one of the things that it's regularly said, because one of the things I found in the program, everything that is important, Josh always repeats it a minimum of 3 times. So I made so many notes, and so every time I hear something and I hear it again, I'll say, okay, there's a first time, second time, third time. Okay. So all those things, I just knew that, and he always talked about, following the process. And I just saw that as I kept following the process and I kept working hard and all of that. And then, of course, the big thing was that there's also a lot of support available, the mentors, and everybody's always willing to go overboard to help you when you run into difficulties and all of that. So it was great, so that was my experience. And I did learn a lot of things, which of course, as I went on to interviews, it reflected, because I became an ambassador for Prehired, and people, are like, whoa, okay, what's that's you guys are really getting a lot of stuff, from that program.
That's amazing, John. So, hey, talk a little bit about the company you got hired to.
Oh, I got hired to GTT. It happens to be one of the biggest companies in the telecom space. It's ranked number 3, and it's a $2 billion annual revenue company. And I think one of the biggest things they're known for is that they're massively acquiring other companies and just being a crazy, behemoths of the company and all of that, so really, really great company.
That is so cool, John. So, hey, lastly, what would you say to anyone thinking, about Prehired, but maybe they're on the fence of, is this going to work for me? Or, maybe they're just on the fence. What would you say to them?
Well, what I would say to people like that who are sitting on the fence would be, hey, don't even think about it any longer than you're already thinking, because I realized that in the long run, the biggest regrets that we will have as humans is about the things that we did not do. But I mean, it's better to try and fail. But I tell you, in this case, your margin of error or failure, it's 0.00001. And the thing is, it made everything so simple for you. Just follow the process, and you've got amazing mentors and people that, as long as you are willing to raise up your hand for help, I mean, they're always ready to, to help. So that's one of the, great things, about this program. The support is fantastic. So there's no reason, if I can do it, I believe anyone else can do it. And the thing is, you need to also be committed to working hard and committed to being persistent, and just knowing that, look, you need to get up and go, and try to also be the kind of person who has goals, and then, you walk toward those goals, whatever it is, don't allow anything stop you, because, getting to this point, getting hired is for real. I started my program on the 26th of June. That was when I was accepted into the program. And by the 26th of October, I got my letter in the mail. I got my offer letter in the mail. So if you look at that, that's exactly 120 days. So you would see from that, I mean, they promised that in 90 days at the maximum, most people will get, jobs. And that's true for me, because I started, on the 26th of June, like I said, and I finished the program in about 6-7 weeks. And now here I am. I've been hired by one of the best companies in the tech space, all thanks to Prehired. So there's no point wasting any more time. Just get up and do it, and then you would be in a position to tell the story.
That's amazing, John, and I 100% agree. We're going to let you go. We know you're a really busy man now that you're working at GTT, so we appreciate your time, and I'm going to let you get back to work, and we'll be talking soon, my friend.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.